That stark warning from one of the founders of Facebook. The site's first president, Sean Parker, is now admitting that Facebook was designed to be addictive, and he's now worried about what that means for our children's brains. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here with the story. Good morning, Ariel.
And the fact that, that they've actually equated like that instant gratification on Facebook or on Instagram, on waiting to see, people reacting to you, has some of the same chemical effects to your brain as a mild but steady cocaine addiction.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's the billionaire brainiac who helped launch Facebook, otherwise known as the guy Justin Timberlake played in The Social Network.
Drop the just Facebook.
But now, former Facebook president Sean Parker is sounding the alarm about the potentially addictive nature of social media.
Just as far as the dopamine, as far as if somebody's like, I like this, and it's like that immediate dopamine rush, that you're basically getting dosed.
Sure.
Is not that different from doing coke.
Speaking at an Axios event Wednesday, Parker, who worked with Mark Zuckerberg to develop Facebook, with a bombshell claim, saying the site was intentionally built to hook you.
That thought process was all about how do we consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible. It's a social validation feedback loop because you're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology.
Yeah, I know some people have talked about being addicted to social media or addicted to the attention that they can get on there, or posting, or looking at posts. Yeah, I tell people I treat it like a credit card. Social media. It's only there if you need it. It's like, yeah, I know being an artist, I'm supposed to promote myself on there, because it is a sort of kind of marketplace.
Yep.
And it's definitely a marketplace, like if it's Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm supposed to let people know I'm here. So I post about what I do. It's kind of like not just, hey, I woke up this morning, I am looking out the window.
I made eggs.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I'm not doing so much of that, although sometimes I'll say this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm thinking about. To let people who do consider themselves close friends of mine, people who do, so they can look at, oh, hey, what's he up to?
Yeah.
What's going on? And they can actually and not in that, so they can read it, and they can know about it, instead of me perhaps bragging about it, like in pictures and being like, I'm doing this, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, look at me and forget about what you're doing, or compare yourself to me.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of what you're sharing is also about, you're, like you're saying, it's not so much to throwing stuff out there for the sole purpose of having some of that instant gratification feedback. You're putting a lot of things out there that are informative in terms of what you're doing and things, and because some of the things that you're doing, other people might be like, hey, I want to go, participate in a class, or want to do, it's actually a little bit more informative. There's a little more depth and substance to it.
Yes.
And not just look, another selfie. Because there's a lot of people that all they do is look, another selfie.
Yeah.
While the medical community has yet to classify social media as addictive like alcohol or gambling, one recent study found that participants who appeared to use social media most compulsively showed changes in the part of the brain that controls impulse.
It's much more helpful to say, look, we're very vulnerable to this. It acts on us in many ways, in the ways addictive substances will.
I'm just going to move that. It's very in there.
I'll just be bobbing and weaving around.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Computers are coming your way.
Computers? For paying bills?
Mothers, too.
Bah, humbug.
Wow. Let me try it.
I have to get a videographer. I have to get a person to follow you around or something. That'd be great. Or I could do it.
Leave it off my head. I was very much the same way as you when I was making art, when I was making things, as far as sharing those things, but being that right now I'm not really creating anything, there's not I don't really feel like I've got a lot to share on a platform like that, and the fact that my life has been, or going on a year of transition,
something like that.
a year and 3 days.
Yeah, this watch does say the day.
Oh yeah, yep. You're in 3 days.
Change the XYZ to an ABC. With a cursor space, make a word erase.
Just given where I'm at right now, like sharing some of that on social media and opening up a dialogue of like, how are you doing? Like, honestly, I don't want to tell you.
Sure.
And that, or like looking at other people's lives where it's not a transitional dumpster fire. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to focus on trying to get my ducks in a row, and not putting myself in the position of like reacting or comparing to what other people are doing right now. Just because I know that it's just not something I need.
Yes.
Let me try it. See your work improve? Make a sentence move. Cut it down to size you can edit or revise.
I've been hearing about that now. Like, some people are pretty vocal about that now. They'll ask me like, what do you want? Or I get, I'll like say hello, hi, and I'll start asking questions like, how's your day going? And and what's your name? And what do you do? And what's going on here? And they'll wonder like, why?
What's your angle?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. That was the next question. Like, that's the one I get asked too. What's your angle? Like, what's in it for you? Or did someone tell you to ask me these questions? And it's just, I'm not going to say it's paranoia, but it's just, they're really not accustomed to having people being genuinely curious about them, in a very
most people don't give a shit
way.
Until there's something that benefits them.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Not to like demean it down to like pirate speak, but
no, do that. I'll just keep going. So thank you for being like, this is what you mean.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. And I've been around people, I've worked with people over the years that like it's a little, it catches them off guard when somebody's like genuinely like, how is your life? And they're just like, why do you care? I'm like, because you're another human being, and I genuinely like, although there might not be an extensive history with a person, anyone that you're dealing with on any level, like what the other things in their life that are affecting them do matter, because in essence, like all of the things that all of the collective experience that all of us have does affect us as a collective. There's a lot of people who will anything that doesn't go their way, it is always somebody else's fault.
Yeah, I've run into that.
And I'm very much to what you were saying as far as trying to be accountable and responsible. That's been something in the last number of years that I've also really focused on, from the standpoint that it just it makes my life easier if I am not kept up at night having anxiety about things that I said I would do and I didn't, or things that I wish that I had handled differently, or and also as far as like being understanding what's appropriate to expect from other people, and just really being better about accepting people where accepting everybody where they're at.
Yes.
And not and just being realistic about what you can control and what you can't.
Sure.
And just really, and embracing the things that I do have some control over, and doing what I can with them, and then the things that are beyond my control, just finding some contentment with the fact that control is just not there, and being okay with it.
Yeah.
Word processing really helps. Let the printer run when your work's all done, and it turns out neat. What a treat! My work's complete. See you soon.
Again, you don't have to explain any of this. You have. But it's like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I know. Love doesn't make sense to anyone. I get that. Let's get that out of the way. But some people are just really comfortable with it, or some people grasp it much more than I do. I do see that. And they can offer it too, in a very real way, in a very emotional way. And for me, I know how to do that, because I'm observant and perceptive. But I'm just doing it because I know it will have this sort of response, that it'll make a person feel a certain way. And then I talk about doing that, and I kill all sort of like romance, or it's like, oh, I'm just doing that so that you're happy. It's like, oh, you don't actually feel anything? No, not like you do.
Oh, you're funny.
And then it's just, but that's how friendships can start and have started for me now, being an adult. And I do believe that that's what's so great about you and I, that you allow me to explain all of that. And when I do, you understand that it's like, oh, you're doing this. I'm doing it to make certain that our friendship lasts, not to just get friendship.
Yeah.
But to make certain that everything works out very well.
And then there's I, who's just like, yeah, there's basically, there's really no possible way that our friendship could ever not last. Like, I'm very much like, yep, this is for this forever.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much.
Well, you're stuck with me.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, you had said ball and chain.
Yep.
So that's going to keep me in place. That's going to keep me, to where I need to be.
Or at least it's going to be a good leg workout to like drag me along.
Sure. Yeah. I'm like, I just need to,
Dead weight again.
I need to go purchase some cereal. Oh goodness, dead weight. No way. I know you're just joking, but it's like I'm supposed to say no. Like, no way. Okay,
I know.
I'll stop these.
All right. I suppose I should go get I need to get some of my mom's dresses to a friend of mine to do some alterations because
We'll return after these messages.
Will you post on Facebook again?
Of course. No, I post on Facebook all the time. I post on. I use these platforms. I just don't let these platforms use me.